Hi, it's me, MC of Healthy by George. I'm here every Thursday and Sunday talking about health and what matters. And I'm wanting you to think about subscribing because really it's about a journey that we all can discuss as we get older. We can't avoid it. And today we're going to talk about stress and how does that impact our thinking.
Welcome to Healthy by George. I want you to know that this is for informational purposes only, and it should not be considered as medical advice, nor does it have anything related to my employer. So it's always best for you to check with your own medical provider before you do anything that I recommend or for any medical treatments. So please join me, hit that subscribe button, and turn on notifications so you never miss an episode.
So, I know that the political climate for many of us can be stressful. For those of us who are unsure of what the presidency will bring or what our futures will be in 2025. So, there can be all of this stress of what will happen as we transition into a new year. We only have about 6 more weeks of this year, and that's like amazing how fast 2024 went. And so I want to talk about stress because stress is a major component of our thinking, our cognitive functioning. And since this is Alzheimer's Awareness Month, I think it's very important for us to think about how do we preserve our ability to think clearly, with focus, and with the capacity to learn and to remember. Those things are all very important. As we learn, as we get older, sometimes those things don't come so easily. So how can we help ourselves with stress? Because stress, when we think about it, it's all about the hormone cortisol. And stress, well, cortisol is thought of as the stress hormone. And our bodies are really, always in this revolution of cortisol. When we wake up, there's a stimulation of cortisol that's released. It's time to get going, moving, doing. Many people who are morning people, they really know cortisol well because it's really what gets them awake and moving and going. Someone like me, I'm more of a night person. I'm not sure what that means, but I sort of get a surge of energy in the evening, late in the evening, not sure why. But cortisol is a fascinating hormone because it does two things. It both can be a benefit because it's really about the flight or fight hormone that shows up when suddenly you need to focus, you need to act quickly, you need to do things that are necessary, and you need to bring all of your energy for your neurons to function and fire fast to get something done. And that's a positive stress hormone. Sometimes that can be about playing sports. I know for me, stress as a hormone was about performing. Sometimes it's if you have to do a speech or anything where you feel like there is a performance of some type on the line, or protection. Sometimes cortisol shows up as a protective hormone when we're suddenly in a position where we don't feel safe. We need to move quickly to get away. All of those things are about a positive surge of cortisol. But let's say we have stress every day and it's constant. It doesn't go away. There's this constant, overwhelming, like a bad cloud that won't move of stress in our lives. Maybe it's the stress from us worrying about our finances. Maybe it's the stress of, how are we going to pay for whatever it is that just showed up, a broken air conditioner, a damaged roof, a car that broke down. All of these things are part of the stress of life. And that means that cortisol suddenly stays at higher levels than we really need them to do in our bodies. And this can really, truly, if it continues for many, many, many days, weeks, months. And I think sometimes that sometimes with our lives in this world, the uncertainty of things can make us feel stressful. So that's why it's very important to understand When am I feeling a positive stress, like excitement about presenting something or excitement? I think of stress as sort of excitement in some ways because positive stress feels exciting, you know? And then the negative stress, I think that's where it feels more like this turmoil, underpinning problem that's just kind of looming. And we don't really know how to manage whatever it is that is necessary for us to do. So that's what we really need to think of. It's when we have prolonged periods of cortisol in our brains, it can have really bad effects for our brains. It can be very negative because it basically gives us a challenge where we suddenly have not able to do the problem solving like we are normally used to. We don't have good impulse control. We find ourselves having that sugar every night at 6 p.m. or craving ice cream or cake. Hey, listen, I fall to that because let me tell you, if I'm under a little stress, that's exactly what I'm looking for. Sometimes when you're under high stress, you have these moods that change frequently, or there's this underlying anxiety because of it upsets your sleep. So we really have to think about ways in our life that can help us when we have stress that's negative and it keeps showing up. And I think that there are two things that you can think about doing. I know I think about these all the time. One is meditation. I know people are like, meditation, and because, it's always perceived of as this sitting there with your fingers kind of going, oh, it's really not that. It's really simple, guys. Simple, simple, simple. Put your timer on for 2 minutes. Just sit there and breathe. Don't think of anything, or if something shows up in your thoughts, just let it go through and just sit there and be present with your eyes closed. See how you can feel your body and where you're holding tension in your shoulders or your joints or your ankles. Doing a body scan meditation, and I'll leave a link for some popular ones in the notes, is so powerful. That a body scan meditation, which takes 3 to 5 minutes, and it's very simple. You can do it almost anywhere. You sit still, you think about your toes, your feet, your ankles, your calves, your knees, your thighs, your hips, your back, your stomach, your chest, your arms, your neck, your shoulders, your head, your ears, your face, the top of your head, and that's it. It's really straightforward, a body scan. So I think it's really worthwhile. If you're someone who has a stress in your life and you want to let go of stress, listen, a body scan meditation is the tool. I think the other thing is a breathing exercise. I know that Huberman Lab talks about this breathing exercise, and frankly, if I'm suddenly, sometimes when you're just kind of walking around, all of a sudden that negative thought will come into your brain, and it's like you feel overwhelmed all of a sudden with stress. I think that's when you can stand or sit or pause and take a quick breath exercise where it's 2 breaths quick in and a slow exhale like this. Already I feel the body letting go of stress, my shoulders relaxing, something in my demeanor feels a little less held. So, I can't tell you how powerful that little short breath exercise is. Try it out. See how you can make it work for you. I know it can look a little silly. Truthfully, we're animals that breathe, and our breathing and how we use our breath is a powerful tool. So I really encourage you to think about how you are managing stress in your life. We're all having it. We're all wondering about our salaries, the cost of the grocery store, how are we going to take care of whatever broke down or whatever expenses we have, or we're not earning the income that we want. or somehow our passion that we're going after is not fulfilling, or it's failing. There's all kinds of things that are about our lives that will constantly be a form of stress. And the more we can have tools, like the two simple ones I've described, one, the body scan meditation, I'll leave a link, and two, the quick little breath exercise that you can do anywhere. Sometimes I do it just walking. I'll pause and do a quick breath, and I just let go of whatever it was that was bothering me. So be well, my friends. You have this one precious life. Let's all live it, thriving and fulfilling our desires of our hearts and getting stronger so that we can live a long and functional life. I'll see you next time. Think about subscribing. Be well. Bye-bye.
So thank you so much for joining me at Healthy by George. I hope you found the information inspiring and that it encourages you on your wellness journey. Because remember, your body, your well-being are a most precious gift, and every tiny action taken daily can make a huge difference. I hope the information here is educational purposes and is not meant to replace your medical care. See your doctor and talk about what works for you. If you enjoyed today's content, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Your support means the world to me, and it helps me continuing creating content that inspires and empowers you to live your best life. Goodbye for now, and join me again at the next Healthy by George.